Greetings. It has been a little bit, and I am giving you guys an update on what's been going on. Um, it's December 3rd, I think. Let's see. December 3rd, right on the money. Uh, it's 12:15 p.m. Monday. Um, I'm in the studio, and this is this is my gig. So wanted to talk a little bit about how what's happened all throughout this year. There's been a lot going on. Um, I changed the format of my channel from a very Scientology focused channel subject matter to just me because well, I'll explain in this video. So this year recap 2018 January. I lost my vehicle. When I say lost my vehicle, um, there was money in the bank to pay the note. I had to get a co-signer during my divorce. Uh, my stepfather got a notification saying that the note didn't clear. It actually did. It just flagged because it overdrafted. Uh, Immediately got a call saying that he was giving or selling the car to my ex-wife. He ended up paying it off and just giving it to her, which is fine. I want my kids to have a vehicle, but being that I was still seeking medical treatment and following up on the post-operative stuff, and that was very stressful. And then also dealing with the stress of the day-to-day um, environment that like I don't want to use the words abuse or anything. It's just uh, like I'm trying to look at things in a different way. Um, so I couldn't stay there anymore, and I couldn't really find the words to describe to to people, what was going on, and I still kind of struggle of how to do that um, in a positive way. A lot of that will probably come out in writing at some point. But my brother Mark drove me to Mississippi, which is when I contacted Aaron about the GoFundMe. So a couple things about that. The GoFundMe, I was couch surfing, you know, uh, and had no vehicle. And the goal of the GoFundMe was basically to get some transportation so that I could make it to New Orleans. After I got to Jackson, I was able to find the University Medical Center in New Orleans that would accept my uh, Medicaid. So once I was able to do that, I found a couch to crash on in New Orleans, and made my way there. And I had several appointments. Had to get referrals. Saw a urologist. Things looked good. Made a couple trips back to Lake Charles. Things weren't so good. Again, I don't know how exactly to explain. If you saw my cowboy videos, maybe that would be a good place to kind of start. If you don't know the kind of situation, but so I traveled a lot. Also, during the time I was in New Orleans, one of the subscribers, Brenda, more than a subscriber now, is a friend of mine, flew down, and we drove down to Clearwater for the March event, the LRH birthday event. I got to meet Mike and Aaron and Nathan, Rich, and Mark and Claire Headley and some of the other ex-Scientologists. Um, it was, it was a mild fanfare, and I had a good time. It was a scary experience for me going to the Mecca. It was on a bucket list of mine. I didn't expect to be going there on those terms, but all in all, it was a good experience. Afterwards, uh, there was some networking stuff that um, between some of the ex-Scientologists, some connections that were made, and people that genuinely reached out and were supportive. And and I'm thankful for that community. Um, I've upon returning to Lake Charles and starting to work in Octane, um, I'm going to flash a picture up here. This is whenever there was we were building a booth back in 2014. Uh, my friend Dale and Dave, my friends Dale and Dave and I have been noodling around the studio for a while. And most of the time I've just been coming over here and recording stuff. But this year Dale asked me to take a sort of a position of responsibility here at the studio as a studio manager. And one of the first things that I recommended was to get all of the 13,000 watts worth of PA equipment out of here so that we could, and I'm going to show some more pictures here, so that we could make the studio a little more amenable to the creative, make it a more creative atmosphere. That's an important part of any studio. This is just the control room that we're in, but we're planning to build a live room that will connect to this control room. There's projects that we've got haven't been published yet, and I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about the strategy that I have on how I want to roll all of those things out. But there's going to be, and there already is, a library of content that we're developing. It's just I'm not going to divulge much information right now as to what the contents of that library are going to be. Yeah, let's see here. The blog. So this year I've been in a situation where I've kind of been living on the goodwill of strangers. I got diagnosed with CPTSD, and my therapist filed for disability for a number of reasons, and she didn't file for disability. She filed on behalf of me. So as of right now, I'm still, December 31st of this month, I'll be going for my nerve conductive study, and hopefully that'll give some concrete, definitive answers and final disclosure as to the post-operative, procedure and everything. As far as nerves go, it doesn't seem like there's any cancer left, but or any necrotic tissue, if there ever was any cancer to begin with. But there was necrotic tissue. So the post-operative procedures include the contraindication checkups, and this is, I think, going to be one of the last ones. Overall health, or health in general. It's been up and down. Nutrition has been, kind of a roller coaster. I've gone from 160 to 150, back to 160. My body mass index is supposed to be around 160, so I think I'm in a safe range. My general practitioner here in Lake Charles is happy with where I'm at. Reduced the amount of medications that I take pretty substantially, which has been a slow course, but and difficult, but I'd say well worth it. I'm still taking some medications, but it's a much less than I was taking, and thank God, because my body just couldn't take it. So community, the community that has been watching my videos for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 years, almost 4 years now. I love the community. I love you guys. Compared to some other communities, I think it's just grand. Very positive group. Very positive group that seems to tune in to my videos, and I like that. I have been sort of subjected to some strange occurrences that I would attribute to Scientology intimidation and fair game practice. Nothing super major anymore. My divorce was probably the pinnacle of that, and without getting too depressed, or depressing, there's not much left. So the fair game, whether it was intentional or not, it was effective. But I am not destroyed, and there are people who I don't think want me destroyed, and there are people who love me. So thank God for that, and thank God my mother loves me. The book, still in my brain, but as I am going through therapy, there's some things that I feel like I need to address and process that will help in the writing of this book. So one of the things that happened this year that I feel I should tell you guys is I was committed by my therapist, and I think I said that before, but I had a psychotic break, and it had to do with, unfortunately, God, I hate this, not full disclosure stuff, but I can't fully disclose it because it involves some minor family members. But if you watch the cowboy videos and you see or you hear what I have to say about how that experience was growing up, all I can say is that I was willing to go to any lengths to prevent that from happening to another human being, and I had a psychotic break, and I sought help afterwards, and I called I don't know how many therapists and offices to see if they would accept my insurance, and the one that finally did actually didn't, but she saw that I was a person in need of help. So a couple of sessions in, things, she could see that the environment and the situation I was in was actually quite dangerous and violent and potentially violent, and it did. It got to a very violent tipping point, and that is exactly why I sought help. I'll admit that I was the one that was being violent. I'll also say that that the reason, my reasoning which is not real clear when you have a psychotic break, was because I saw that kind of behavior being uh, uh, to I saw this behavior being enacted on another person, um, and it was slow increments. It wasn't getting to the point of violence that I had experienced, but I wasn't going to wait around for it to get to that point, and so I acted, and thank God I didn't commit patricide, and that's essentially why I was committed. It was overall, I can't. I'm starting to look at things in an overall sense. Like the past is the past, and how you look at things right now, you can change that, and and sometimes it's really just the small things, if you're thankful for, um, that all that pain and hurt and suffering, you can cope with a lot better. Um, so the the blog that I've had since 2013 or so, um, it has a couple of. I mean, I've written multiple articles um, about different topics. I've moved all of my Scientology stuff to that blog just as a resting place for it, and it's linked from. I link it from the ex-Scientology messaging board for those who may need it. Um, with my YouTube channel, it was never my intention to become some sort of famous ex-Scientologist celebrity. Um, and prior to my involvement with that organization, my trajectory was pretty good. I found out through some of the therapy that I've uh, been doing, that there was a point in my life where I had accepted that I don't have to please everybody, and it's okay for me to pursue what I feel is important. And of course, any of you that have watched my videos know that music is incredibly important to me. I watched a video yesterday of Victor Wooten giving a speech at a TED Talk. And Victor's older brother, aside from my first guitar teacher, Sam Lyons, here in Lake Charles or Sulphur, aside from Sam Lyons, was my only other guitar teacher. And I want to link a video, the video in the description, and he talks about music as a language, and it is a very insightful video. And there's a point in there where he talks about other people putting you on a pedestal musically, and there's this thing with musicians where someone is complimenting you and telling you how great you are and all this stuff. You want to be humble and be like, oh, I'm just a guitar player and all this stuff. And he makes an interesting point. He's like, if they're putting you on a pedestal, don't step down from the pedestal. Help them up. And I can honestly say that I've been put on a pedestal by a number of musicians that I respect very much. So, like, I put them on a pedestal. And also when I started I've started recently developing the Octane website and putting together my production resume. And when I started doing that, I was like, well, wow, like for the short time that I was in the business, um, I accomplished quite a lot. So I don't want to take my own. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I also don't want to not give myself credit, where it's due. And I've done some really amazing things. That there's a reason why people make these comments and look at me this way, and and I want to be appreciated. I want to be appreciative of that, and and help them, as Victor said, help them up the pedestal instead of stepping down, where we're on the same level. Everyone wants to get better, and everyone wants to get to that next level. And that was a very profound statement for me, having heard, and it was from the exact person that I needed to hear it from. Uh, Reggie Reggie taught his little brother Victor how to uh, play music. I mean, but you really have to, if you're interested in it, in watching this, and you like music. He has a very Reggie and Victor, because Victor pretty much teaches the same way he was taught. Everyone has music in them, and so the the methods and the way that Reggie taught me, um, they're long lasting, and uh, they reach the core of me as a player and as a musician, and as a listener of music, in a very profound way. So I am honored to have been taught by Reggie. It was something that my roommates used to pick on me about, because Reggie, he does a lot of two-handed stuff, and some of it sounds kind of gimmicky and whatnot. But to be honest, Reggie and I, the most of the time in our lessons, we spent talking, and it was in the conversations that we had that I learned the most. Now, he did teach me some techniques, and he explained some things to me about jazz that I desperately wanted to know, but he didn't do it in a traditional way, which is great, because I'm not. That's why I chose Reggie as my teacher. I saw him at Third and Lindsley. I saw what he could do. He was kind of a freak of nature. And I was like, I don't know anything about what this guy's playing or how he's doing it, but I am so curious. And I walked up to him after the show and asked him for his number, and he very openly gave me his number and said, anytime, and the cost of the hell, there was I paid I think it was $40 a lesson, and there was a couple of lessons where it was like he didn't even charge me, uh, and that's something to me. Like, it tells me that as a teacher, like, I learned something important that he wanted me to learn. So much so that the lesson was like he got his value out of the lesson. And as a teacher myself, when I teach guitar, I can relate to that. So let's see. On to the next thing. Man of the Year blog. It's old blog. I'm kind of circling around and around in here, but I'm redeveloping this blog, and it was inspired by something that happened just the other day. I was walking down the road to the store, and I was thumbing a ride because it's quite a long walk, and no people are passing, and you know, I'm not being bitter or anything. Of course, there's the occasional thought in my mind like, how many times have I stopped and given somebody a ride? You know, God, could you help me out? And this guy pulled over and was like, "Where are you going?" He's like, he wasn't going the same way I was going. I was like, "I'm just trying to get to the store, go get a pack of smokes." And he's like, "Sure, hop in." We took a ride, and then he brought me back to the studio. And it was that small, random act of kindness that inspired me to uh, uh, set up the Facebook page, and actually bring some attention to this guy. We actually had mutual friends. I knew he looked familiar, but uh, and I know this the man of the year may sound like gender biased, but it really um, when I started that I was I was doing a lot of reading on the fathers' rights movement, and trying to get strength and sort of support from other men who were fighting for for their, you know, visitation rights and custody of their children after being uh, maliciously mauled in the justice system. And so uh, it's not gender exclusive, but um, I think that there's another blog and it's actually a nonprofit, Rachel Miner, who I could probably safely say is not a Scientologist anymore, has an organization called Random Acts of Kindness, and brings attention to these sorts of things and raises money to do random acts of kindness. It's a great organization, great cause, and Rachel has a huge heart. Uh, the goal with the Man of the Year blog is to sort of be an inspirational type thing, but also a record of what was, you know, on my channel on YouTube, and a record of some of my thoughts, experiences, and writings, you know, throughout those time periods. And I'll be developing that as time goes on, along with Octane. Uh, and yeah, Octane is really a hinging factor right now. It is since you know, I don't like the labels. You know, I got this invisible disability or whatever, and these triggers that happen, and they're very real. But I don't. I'm not. I'm getting to the point to where uh, I'm actively working to not let that define me. So Octane. It's a big idea. It's a big idea, and since I have in the past opened my mouth a little too soon, you know, I there's very little I'm willing to share about Octane and what it's going to be, because it's still in so many ways is yet to be defined. Um, but it's very exciting, and so yeah, the pictures that hopefully I'll add after this, you'll get to see sort of a little bit of the transformation, and I gotta say that Dale Abshire and Dave Murray and Dale's wife Nikki, you know, um, these are people, they don't go to church every Sunday. Um, they don't talk about they don't preach about God or anything like that. But let me tell you something. These are very loving, uh, God-like, Christ-like people, if you want to call it that. Um, and I hope I hope if they see this, they don't take offense to that. But I am getting a little emotional thinking about it, because what it has meant to me is, I can't possibly. I mean, it's my heart and my soul. Music is, and sometimes I forget, if you want to call it such a thing as a pedigree or that pedestal, um, that I was on a similar trajectory as some of my good friends who still work in the professional music business, and I have a lot of contacts in the film business, and uh, sometimes I forget. I don't think about it the same way as some others do. After all, we're all just people, you know. And however, it this year in 2018, reconnecting with some of my friends in the industry, and there's been a little bit of, understandably so, there's been a little bit of not skepticism, but like, is Marcus really coming back? Like, is he going to make another attempt at this? Um, and there is a feeling that I get from these friends, is a great feeling of relief, like a coming home feeling. And I'm very excited about that, because whenever I focused my efforts on that as a young man, um, aside from the rampant drug use and all that, like, I achieved a lot of things in a very short period of time. And one of my favorite quotes uh, from a Willie Nelson song that one of my friends and I, kind of who had started our journey in the music business together, we used to play. It's from Me and Paul, a song called Me and Paul. We received our education in the cities of the nation. Me and Paul, and and Paul is back in my life now, and it's such a blessing to be able to hang out with Paul and talk to him, and we're gonna play some music together again. And a friend of mine, Rand Schuler, who his grandfather founded Gold Band Records here in Louisiana, recorded The Sea of Love back in the 60s, big hit. And Dolly Parton's first record. I mean, I have a long list of production and studio credits, and when I started writing them down, I'm just like, oh wow. I'm impressed, because there seems to have been so much time where I wasted time, and for me to look at the sort of my little list of credits and stuff on the albums that I've been on and produced and been an assistant producer or just a studio musician on, I should be proud of that. And as I reconnect with some of my biological family who are mostly musicians, they're very proud of it, especially considering that I didn't know them, and it seems to be sort of this like genetic mutation that we all have. All really fantastic players and passionate about music. And I think that's good for now. There'll be more later, but it's been a good long video here. The runtime looks like 35 minutes. And there will be more this last few weeks, months. It's been the end of a long year and I'm looking forward to 2019. And I'm looking forward to getting a clean bill of health the 31st, or at least know what it is I'm dealing with, if it is some sort of nerve problem. And anybody who wants to find those old videos can just go to the WordPress site, which is marcusleesawyer.wordpress.org. And if anyone knows someone who had left the church, and you think that my videos might be useful to them, by all means share the links. And with that, I'm gonna sign off here. Live long and prosper. And until next time, au revoir.